Yo, what is going on, you guys? It's Game with Mav, and today I'm bringing you the finale of our Quest to 1000 trophy series. So overall, we've gotten a little over 100 trophies every single episode. So let's go ahead and see if we can keep that streak rolling and end this video with 1000 trophies. At least that's the goal. So we're starting it off attacking Cha-Ching, and I'm going to start off pretty dang hot with that first crown, as well as get a lot of hit points on that King's Tower. He's not being very defensive right now. He's more on the offensive side of things. That's actually going to cost him a lot of his King's Tower's health. So yeah, that's good for me. And I'm going to drop that Prince, but he is going to counteract that, sadly, with those army of skeletons. That is definitely the best way to counter a Prince if you don't have minions or anything. I totally failed with those arrows there, but luckily they didn't do really any damage to my tower. So yeah, things are looking pretty good right now. Right now things are looking pretty good. I'm just going to wait it out for a little bit so I can train up a bigger squad than what I have right now. So I'm going to drop those army of barbarians just to counteract the two that he sent out with that spawner. I'm going to drop a prince back behind him. No, I'm sorry, some minions behind him. And as well as some spear goblins, it looks like. Yes, so those goblins are... those barbarians are doing work. They're taking out that barracks, but unfortunately he did have those arrows that took out all my troops. So again, I'm just going to wait things out for a little bit and go ahead and drop a dragon a little more strategically rather than just dropping an army of barbarians. I dropped that arrow on that King's Tower as well as the barracks so that it just went down faster. And yeah, so he went ahead and dropped a giant. Not really sure why he did that because I just counteracted it. But anyways, he's going to drop those barrel of goblins on that King's Tower. Or I'm sorry, on that little castle tower. I'm still not really sure what it's called. And I've been doing this for 3 episodes. Seems like I should know this by now. But, you know, it's not really my main goal. Alright, so army of goblins on the bottom, or on the top, I'm sorry, and they were able to get me those 3 crowns. So nice job, Shazy, but yeah, let's move right into the next one and keep this series moving. Alright, so I'm attacking QC Moroku QC from Quebec Zombies. And yeah, so starting this off, I'm just going to wait it out until I almost get that max elixir. That way I can have the maximum kill squad possible. And for this raid, I had some barbarians and a prince to back him up. And it looks like he has a big skeleton. I think it's called a giant skeleton. Not really sure. But he's actually going to wait to drop that down. And I think he quit the raid at this point. So yeah, I'm not really sure what happened with him. Maybe he just gave up. I don't know. Maybe he was trying to drop trophies. Not really sure. Anyways, that was probably the fastest raid I've ever done. And yeah, let's just move right into the next one. Alright, so we are attacking Santi from Top Hispania Clash. And yeah, I'm guessing they're from Clash of Clans. I mean, obviously, because there was a Clash on their name. Duh. Alright, anyways, so we got a prince sending in first, backing him up with a little dragon. He's going to try to drop some minions, like I said earlier, to counteract. But I did have a dragon, so it took out those minions. And unfortunately, they killed my prince, but I'm not really going to worry too much about that. He's going to drop a witch as well as some goblins to back her up. Just a little bit of health on that witch, or I'm sorry, that castle up at the top right. So I'm just going to wait and play that out for a little bit, or let that play out for a little bit. He's going to drop a giant. That witch is going to go down, so that giant is free targets. And yeah, he's going to try to drop some minions behind it. I'm going to drop some barbarians to speed up the killing process of that giant. And yeah, so things are looking pretty even right now. Not really sure what is going to happen here. And yeah, so I'm going to drop a prince behind those goblins. He actually drops a cannon. It's the first time I've ever seen anybody with a cannon. I actually unlocked the cannon from a chest, but I really don't want to try it now and lose all my trophies, you know. You can never be too careful. And I guess you could, because that's happened before, and I've lost a lot of trophies from that. But we're not living in the past, so let's just move forward into this raid. Alright, so right now his goblins are going down. I'm just going to wait it out for a little bit. Drop that musketeer on the bottom right. He's going to drop that witch at the top in hopes of taking out my musketeer. I'm going to drop a mini dragon just for that area splash on those skeletons. And it perfectly works out that he drops some minions at the top. I mean, they did take out my musketeer, but my dragon was able to take them out before they did too much damage. I'm going to drop that goblin of barrels on that castle. He's going to try to drop that wall breaker. It does actually end up killing my goblins, but I still got a lot of health damaged onto that tower. Alright, so right now I'm sending in a little bit of a kill squad, and so is he. I'm getting a little nervous now because he's sending all of his troops, but I dropped some arrows and took them all out just like that. So now the only thing he has is a witch. I really wish that I had witches. You know, they're just so good. If you guys ever have the opportunity to like buy a witch, if you go all the way on the left at the main menu and you have like cards available to buy or something, even if you don't have enough gold for it, gem it. Trust me, they are worth it. They are so ridiculous. I don't think you guys understand. Like the prince is good and all, but I mean, witches just spawn those skeletons and they do area damage. It's just I can't say enough about these witches. Alright, I don't want to get too distracted, so let's hop right back into this raid, I guess. And that witch is just destroying as well as that wall breaker. I get a little, not really jealous there. I get a little freaked out, and the match ends up ending. I mean, I guess all matches come to an end, but anyways, I got 1 crown on Sansi. Definitely a much nerve-wracking raid compared to all the other ones. And yeah, let's move right into the next raid. Alright, so we are attacking Thunder Dragon from Clan Canada, and yeah, so obviously this guy's from Canada, and yeah, thanks Captain, obviously. Anyways, I'm going to start off with that army of barbarians just so they tank everything and whatever I'm going to put behind it. And for this case, it's a prince. And yeah, so he's going to drop that balloon as well as that giant on the bottom left. So I'm going to counteract those with some minions. That's one of the things that I like about minions, especially if he drops a giant or a balloon. And yeah, so what they do is they can't hit your minions, even if it is like barbarians that actually target things that you spawn rather than the castle. But they can't reach the minions, so the minions just get free targets, and that's definitely kind of overpowered. I mean, I just said definitely kind of, but you know, I don't really care. So yeah, so I'm gonna drop those barbarians. Unfortunately, he drops a witch. Like I said earlier, they're extremely overpowered. She's going to take a few of them out by herself, as well as that cannon there. Only one little barbarian left. I got that goblin barrel. I'm going to wait to use that, though, because he does have 2,500 hit points on that king's tower. Alright, so I'm going to drop a little bit of an army here at the bottom. I'm going to drop a prince as well as some goblins. And he's going to drop some goblins on the top to take out that prince. I do counteract him with those minions. And I'm going to get a lot of hit points on that king's tower before he actually drops the army of skeletons. So it's gotten to the point now where if they drop an army of skeletons, I just immediately get pissed off for some reason. So I drop those arrows no matter how many skeletons are left. There could be one little skeleton left, and I'll drop in like 4 fireballs on it. I'm like that done with freaking army of skeletons. But you know, anyways, luckily my archer tower can kill him in 1 hit, or my archer castle. And yeah, so I'm gonna drop a prince. Right now I am tied with Thunder Dragon. He's gonna drop that witch. I get a little worried, but then I realize I have a knight, or a prince, not a knight. And there we go with that friggin' army of skeletons again, you know, and just, even watching this replay, I get pissed off, okay, that's, I can't even fathom army of skeletons. But luckily those barbarians are able to take out that king's tower, as well as those minions, those clutch minions down there. And yeah, I went ahead and thanked Thunder Dragon for being an terrible attacker, and for dropping those freaking army of skeletons. So yeah. Yeah, definitely get army of skeletons and witches if you can. Yeah, because they're just unstoppable forces that you can't just beat these troops. You have to think about strategy just from dropping one troop. It doesn't make sense in my mind either. But, you know, it just, okay, let's hop right into this raid, so I'll shut up. Alright, so he's actually going to be the first one today to drop that giant wall breaker. Like I said earlier, and it's really just for looks. It doesn't actually do that much damage. You'd think he would actually throw bombs at my tower, but he really doesn't. He just uses his fists. It's like the Barbarian King in Clash of Clans. He has a freaking 20-foot sword, but he uses his metal fist. You know, I guess I would too, just because it looks cool and you're just banging on stuff. But anyways, that little dragon takes him out, and he is actually going to use a fireball and take out that tower on the bottom left. So I'm going to use that barrel of goblins just to even out the playing field, down to 17 little hit points on that tower up there. I'm going to use some arrows to take that out. I was kind of hoping he would put minions or even skeletons down right at the perfect second, but unfortunately he just put another stupid giant goblin. So unfortunately that big bomb takes out all of my barbarians. That's really the only thing good about the giant skeleton, or the giant wall breaker as I like to call him. And yeah, so I'm going to drop some minions on that balloon on the bottom left, on the bottom right, I'm sorry. Balloon is going to take out some of my goblins there. Minions doing a little bit of work. They got about one hit off on that king's tower. And yeah, so he's going to try to drop some goblins on the bottom, but they just get destroyed before they even did any damage to my tower on the bottom right. Alright, so he's actually going to drop his first prince down there on the bottom left. That's going to get some work done on my king's tower, but I do the exact same thing with my prince. Unfortunately, he's only level 1 and his was level 2, but you know, he still gets a lot of hit points done on that king's tower. And yeah, so I went ahead and dropped that barrel of goblins on the bottom on his prince just so he didn't take out too much in my king's tower. He's going to drop some barbarians, and I'm going to drop a little dragon as well as some barbarians on my own, or of my own, and I'm pretty much just going to spam everything down at this point because I am done with people trying to just go from one side of the base, which is exactly what I do, but you know, I don't like it when people use my strategies against me. Alright, so right now I have a huge amount of troops, and unfortunately, right as I say that, he selects the fireball and just destroys all of them. But anyways, I got that first tower. Nope, does get it? Yep. I dropped that goblin barrel of goblins, and they were able to take out that tower. So he's going to try to even it out with that 2-star, but my minions say no. And yeah, so overall, guys, 5 seconds left. He's not able to get that second crown. Went ahead and good gamed me. And yeah, so definitely a more fair raid here compared to all of the other 1 crown, even a 3 crown in like 30 seconds, I think it was. Maybe not even. But anyways, nice job, Captain Obvious, and I will see you guys in the next raid. Alright, so we are attacking. Okay, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that name. But he is from Sold, and I think that's how you say his name. Anyways, he good lucked me like he was a bad A at this game. So yeah, I tried my very best to beat him. And yeah, so we're starting off with pretty much the same strategy, except I dropped a prince instead of a giant, and some goblins instead of his minions. But anyways, it seems like my troops did more damage because my dragon survived longer and they were able to get some area damage. So I went ahead and dropped that barrel of goblins on that top right tower. He's going to drop a witch to try to counteract that, and I got his tower down to 531 health. So I'm going to drop some barbarians on the bottom and wait it out a little bit just so I could get a little more of a kill squad rather than just barbarians. And I was actually able to save up for some minions, and yeah. So cards in this game, I think, happen like pretty perfectly. What I mean by that is right when I say that I need minions, then the next card is minions, something like that. So it's not like I get 4 princes in a row, although that would be pretty dang cool. And yeah, that would probably piss my opponents off. So in that case, I probably want that. But anyways, jumping right back into this raid, he's got 109 hit points left on that castle. He's going to drop a giant to try to defend his area a little bit. I'm going to drop some goblins just so he take out that giant even faster before he does too much damage to my castle. He's going to drop some minions to try to destroy those goblins, but I'm actually going to drop a barrel of goblins to take out that 109 hit points on that castle. They're actually going to get a pretty good amount of damage done to his king's tower as well. He's not really going to try to counteract it with anything too early, I guess. So I am actually going to take advantage of it and use my prince on the top, and I knew at this point that this raid was right in my hands. For some reason, he tried to just go for the 1-star, but instead, he lost all 3 of his crowns, completely shredded. And yeah, so this was actually the last raid that I did for today, and let's go ahead and return back to base to see how much trophies we ended up getting. Alright guys, so returning back to base, we ended up with 1,004 trophies to end off this series as well as end off this episode. So guys, thank you so much for watching this series. If you enjoyed, please leave a like down below. Comment if you want me to do more stuff like this, maybe even a quest to the top 200. I don't know, we'll see. But anyways guys, thank you so much for watching, and I am out. Peace.